I allow my body to relax. Breathing evenly and naturally, I turn my awareness inward. I find a silent space within, and I feel my own presence. I feel the pure energy of my own essence, just me. And for a few moments, untouched by the outside world, I am a pure, silent being. There is no one quite like me. I appreciate the special feeling that is me. And I appreciate my journey through life that has led me to the present. I especially remember my early years, my spirit of innocence, my pure vision and trust, my natural spontaneity. And I recall my growth to adulthood. I recognize how my innocent spirit became overlaid by many fears, doubts, worries and troubles. But now, resting in the silent stillness of my being, I remember who I am. I go beneath the layers of fear and doubt, and I view myself and the world with innocence. I create an image in my mind that expresses my innocence. Using my imagination, I take my innocent spirit to a special place in nature. A place I have been before, or a special place that I will now create in my mind. Perhaps a hidden valley full of wildflowers, or a serene, peaceful place by the sea. I focus on the details of my special place. I notice the shapes, the colors, the fragrances. And with a childlike innocence, my spirit begins to dance. My spirit dances naturally and joyfully, inspired by the beauty of my special place. My dancing spirit expresses my pure innocence and self-acceptance. Innocence moves me, and I dance freely. Feet gliding over the soft earth, a gentle breeze caressing my face and hair. My dancing spirit returns to stillness. And my eyes drink in the beauty of my special place. I absorb the peace and beauty of this place. It is my peace, my beauty. It is me. My spirit has once again awakened to its innocence.
Welcome to your Spiritual Vaccine Hour with your Sister Jenna, and I hope you had a fantastic day today. Would you believe that with choice, I took it easy today. And despite taking it easy, you want to hear a nice scene? So I chose to take it easy today. From after Wise-ish and breakfast, and even breakfast, I didn't make breakfast today, did I? Santosh cooked today. It was very, very good. So I took it really easy today, and despite that, I took a nap for like maybe 2 hours or an hour and a half. I don't remember how long. I spent some time with Sister Geeta in her room just to see, are you okay? You need anything? And then I goes, oh, can you rub my back? And then she goes, well, can you rub my back? And I go, okay, I'll rub your back if you rub my back. But it's a very unfair deal, because when she rubs my back, it's like no interest, like. And when I'm with her, I'm like, let me, drama, right? What are you going to do? Anyway, so after I took like an hour and a half to take it a little easy, I got up and freshened up and saw the phone, and Antonia texts me, what's the matter? Are you boycotting me, ignoring me? I've been trying to call you all day. And then I saw like 100 WhatsApp messages, and then another 20 or so 30 text messages, and I was like, is this good that I do take this time or not? And I said to myself, okay, so here's the irony to this equation, right? So I called Antonia and I says, hi Antonia, how are you? So what's the matter? I've been trying to reach you all day. Are you like not taking my calls? And I said, well, I just thought of taking a little rest today. Oh, you took a rest today? Yeah, I was just taking it easy. But now that I did, and you're like 911, I'm thinking that I shouldn't have. Anyway, long story short, she was so thoughtful. She goes, take a week. Just take a week. Go in the RV, go somewhere. And I go, I'm fine. Today, my thought was, I just wanted to be in my own company. I wanted to journal, and I wanted to think. And some of my friends did a healing collective moment of silence for me at 10:30. So I was laying in the bed, and I was, because I'm not one of those persons to do that. I value my friends, and I value if they believe in, what do you call that thing, Sister Geeta? You used to like it. You and Antonia would do it. What is this thing you would smoke up the house with, this thing called sage? Sage. So, some folks like that sage. I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand that. Like some people like incense. There's only one incense that I'll burn that I care for. Some individual like feathers, tuning forks. My beautiful, sweet, beloved sister Ivy likes her sound bowl healings, and she believes in them. And I know that because she believes in them, they do work. There's so many variety of ways. And for me, I believe in the healing of the body. It has to do with a particular repetitious pattern of thinking over a long period of time. So what I've been doing is taking opportunities of throughout the day, windows, to go in, because I know the area that I'm trying to reconcile inside of the soul. And I'm using that energy of reconciling those emotions and those feelings and sending it to the area in the body that needs to be repaired, to be healed. And so anyway, today I was laying, and there were my friends. We put about maybe 9 or 10 on the call, and we were doing this thing. And I was just sitting there. And I was like, I believe in thought vibrations. There's no doubt. I believe in it wholeheartedly. And I believe when a collective number of people without attachment to you and only wants the best, that's like a bullet that goes in so fast. It creates miracles. And I believe that. So I'm kind of lying there, and I'm kind of waiting for that experience of the miracle to happen and things to just miraculously happen. Then bang, 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 Sister Geeta, Jenna, you in there? Sister, can you open up? And I'm like, no, I'm having a moment. Oh, the scenes of the day in the ashram, they just don't stop. Only in the Brahma Kumaris, do you find real-time growing experiences. I love it. I love it. Anyways, everybody okay? Thumbs up. Please let me know that you're doing well. Mary, I was remembering you today. I hope Katrina was feeling our vibrations for her birthday yesterday, if you're on today. Lots of good wishes. And we heard from a wonderful person in Africa, Shelley, and she happens to be stranded because of the COVID crisis, and every day she's begging and praying to come back to the USA, but they're not letting them in. And actually, Europe now has just banned any American travelers to fly into Europe. So just to give you an idea, because our cases have gotten so high, it's like nobody wants to come to America. Everybody wants to get out of America. But I just would like us to hold a moment of prayer and intention for her. I know the flights are canceling, as she says, but there'll be a flight that will not cancel and will say, go home. And wherever you are in Africa and what you're doing, just know that your global family is sitting here and wishing you freedom and a safe journey back home to the United States soil. So lots of good wishes for that. Today's discussion is a good one because if you've been on the journey with us with Spiritual Vaccine, it's been what, almost 100 shows, you said? Close to 100 shows. I can't believe that. Close to 100 shows. Even when we were at the Meditation Museum, when it was open, we didn't do that. There's been so many beneficial scenes in this lockdown or COVID crisis, or let's call it COVID opportunity. I don't use the word crisis or challenge anymore. But today's conversation is about unnecessary thoughts, how to get rid of them. And if you've been with us on this journey for the last 3 months, I think by now you would have noticed that the message is transform your thoughts and your whole destiny will change. And the hardest thing to do is to interfere in your cycle of thinking and create a new pattern of thinking so that you don't keep getting what you've always got. A lot of times people will come to you and me and might say, I do want to heal, but they're not willing to give up what they need to give up for the healing. So in a weird way, because of an accumulation of a pattern of waste thoughts, we have gotten addicted to drainage. Drainage of spiritual potential, drainage of our spiritual power, drainage of our creative ingenuity, drainage of our light. It's like our light is becoming extinguished. In the teachings of the Brahma Kumaris, we have a daily class called the Murli. And there's a point that Baba always used to share in the Murli is that there's like only 1% of your light left. When you remember me by considering yourself to be a soul, I will fill that soul back and I will reignite you to make you fully lit. And you think about that why we have to keep attention on what are my quality of thoughts, and is the thought that I'm having connected to the original remembrance of the self, or is it feeding the algae or the body consciousness, which is the drainage? And what's happening is that waste and unnecessary thoughts live in the drain. It's useless. It's waste. That's why it's useless. It's waste. It's garbage. And when we continue to feed that same pattern of thinking and we get accustomed to it, accustomed to it, not only does it create emotional ill, but it also can go as far as creating illness in a particular organ, in a particular area of the body, or even in your environment. Why is this pandemic still increasing in America? Why? Is it because we don't want to be better? Is it that we are interpreting freedom that I will do what I want? I don't have to wear my mask. Who are you to tell me to wear my mask? Or my gloves? That's coming from waste. Because how could you not think about your brother? How could you not think about another child of God to help them? When you don't have a pattern of waste thoughts, it is very natural for you to think about the well-being of others versus the selfishness of what you think only is for you. So, let's take a look at the soul. You and I are souls. We've established that very clearly. And the soul is the energy that moves the body. The soul has created the shape of the eyes. The soul has created the color of my skin. The soul has created the shape of my lips. The soul has created the way I move my hands, the way my personality is. The soul was the energy that felt the decisions and the choices that I made, not only in this lifetime, but in previous ones, previous births, previous incarnations. And so inside of you and me, we're carrying the karmic energy of decisions that we've made. And if my karmic energy has been an accumulation of soul-conscious karma, soul-conscious choices, soul-conscious thoughts that follow, then it will be very, very natural for you to feel that karma that has a sense of freedom or purity or peace. You will naturally only begin to nurture the thoughts that are important for you. You will naturally feel thoughts that are connected to the purity of your karma. You will naturally perform actions and make choices that are going to elevate humanity, not bring it down. But the interesting thing is, my brothers and sisters, is that we're all in this plight together, that we are carrying certain emotions and certain experiences which for the life of us we're finding it very difficult to let go of them. And whether it's love or tragedy, that can sometimes amplify it or wake it up, and I speak about that quite often, that we do get to look deeper into what are some of the issues that are still underlying, somewhere in the soul that I'm not able to see because maybe I'm too busy, maybe I'm stuck on the body, maybe I have maybe too many desires, or maybe my past still has me in chains, right? So when we look at waste and unnecessary thoughts, it's important that we look at a big picture as to why are they even there? Waste and unnecessary thoughts, how did they get there? When you are full, you won't have waste and unnecessary thoughts. When there's too much space, when there's a void in the soul, means I haven't nurtured the soul well. It means I haven't paid attention to the energy of soul consciousness as much. It means that I'm caught up in what I want from other people, what other people have said, what they've done to me, what is not happening for me. All of that is algae stuff. The shadow, the dark night of the soul, the drainage of your spirit. And when we are drained, we have to work 100 times harder just to get one little thing. We felt it in our lives, we felt it. So when we're trying to reduce the pattern or the addiction of waste or unnecessary thoughts. It's important that you are able to identify what are waste and unnecessary thoughts. The list is endless. Waste thoughts. Oh, I'm running late. Oh, I'm running late. Oh, I'm running late. You need to just say that only once. But when folks used to come to the meditation museum, remember those nice times of traffic on the 495 from Virginia? And I don't have Porsche's on, but you know, it would take almost an hour or so to get to the museum from folks' home because of the traffic. But sometimes you'd get late because the traffic was holding you up. So some of our visitors would come and go, I'm so sorry I'm late. I was just so late. And I go, yeah, of course. So you confirmed that you were going to be late. So when we say the same thought or think the same thought, even if it's a real thought. So once I say, I'm late, that's all the soul needs. But what we do, we're driving and we get every traffic light, we get every stop sign, we get every slow driver in front of us, and we keep repeating, right? I'm late, Jesus, I'm late, come on, move it. Confirmation of how powerful waste thoughts are, that they will show right in front of you, well, you're making yourself more late, okay? So even, let's take a look at some of the patterns of waste and unnecessary thoughts. You're married to your spouse, 5 years, 10 years. Let's say after 5 years you start to see some limitations in their personality or in their behavior or choice. And you're walking around the house and you're thinking, oh, she always does that. I can't stand when she does that. Or you'll walk around the house and you'll say, oh, I wish he would just do this. Why doesn't he just do that? But you're thinking it. But you think it over and over and over again without even knowing that you're doing it to yourself. And you're creating a pattern. It becomes a pattern of waste. And you will get so angry with them over the smallest of thing and will say, I told you to call me, and then you were late and now the food is cold on the table. And you got angry just because they didn't call you and the food is late. Your anger is not just because of that. Your anger is because for those many years, you've been feeding the thought of a limitation or a weakness in your spouse's personality that it became like a tipping point. You see, because there's less light in terms of your relationship with him or her, because the thoughts aren't there anymore. So in so many marriages, individuals are really feeling stifled because they're not aware that it's not that there's anything wrong with your spouse as such, but it's just that the mistake you've made is that you've been feeding the weakness of who you see in them, or what you see in them rather, the defects that you're seeing in them quietly in your mind. And it's creating a story, it's creating a wall, it's creating a block, it's creating a shadow, it's creating the drainage. So poor thing, when they do anything that reaches a particular point in your energy where you just can't tolerate that anymore, you explode. You do it once, you do it 5 times, you do it 100 times, you do it 10 times, and you stop paying attention. And it becomes your norm. It becomes your norm to think the way you think about your spouse. It becomes a norm for you to think about your partner in a particular way. So what's the solution and what's the cure? What's the dosage that we should make? What's the dosage that we need to take to change that? First thing is to know, I've made this mistake. Why am I losing my greatest resource of power to think about a weakness or a limitation in my husband, my wife, and my child, and my mother-in-law, and my roommate, with my beloved? Recognizing, but that's what they have to work on. And it might be their garbage. So if it's their garbage, why have you become the garbage collector in picking up their stuff? Waste. Unnecessary. Couldn't you have done a million other great things with your thoughts, with your decision to choose, other than picking up someone's garbage? Between God and that child, they have to work out their stuff. You and I have nothing to do with it. So with all of that time and energy that you might have invested in over a year or 5 years or 10 years, that energy of waste kept accumulating. So firstly, I made a mistake. I have to stop this. What is that one treasure that I see in my spouse, in my partner, with my friend, with my in-law? What is that one thing that God seems to shine through? And every time you find your thoughts going back to the weakness or the limitation of that person, you have to say, that's between God and that child. I don't have anything to do with that. And you pull your energy back in, and you work on who you need to become. You work on the consciousness of the soul. You heal yourself first. Like in a plane, they always say, if it's going down, you don't, the oxygen mask, you have to put it on yourself first. Don't try to save somebody else. And I've thought about that example many times. That in order for you and I to save ourselves, we've got to stop thinking wasted negative thoughts about other people. And when we begin to put our own mask on our face, when maybe they're acting up and they're misbehaving and they're just letting out their garbage, and you put on your own mask and say, well, I got to take care of me, so who am I? Who am I in the midst of this scene with him or her being so irate or looking at me with that judgmental look, or criticizing me, or speaking down at me, or being so narcissistic in their behavior, making me feel like I'm less than. That's all of that energy of algae that makes you feel like you're so worthless. Well, that's my mistake. That's your mistake. That's all of us that make that mistake, to believe in their garbage and make it our own. See, garbage is waste. But when you prepare good food, good thoughts, and you keep thinking about, on many occasions, try to visualize yourself in the form of, what would an angel be like? What is the temperament of an angel? It's like Sister Gita. She's always gliding around the house. She's very, very peaceful. Whenever you pass by her energy, it's like an angel just passed by you. So I look at her as an example, and I go, it's an angel is in the making. And I think about, what do I need to do to really reach that stage? And what she does, she spends so much of her time in thought, between her thoughts and Baba and God, as she walks and moves around. She still remembers Baba. She might not remember this or that or does, but she goes, I remember Baba. And I could see how she pulls the subtlety and the gentleness of God's love that just wraps around her. And I look at that and I go, that's such a nice personality to have. It's just a naturally good spirit, like you can feel her spirit is good. That's the kind of work that we have to do in ourselves now. So put aside all the stuff with people and their issues. Like what Carolyn Mace had shared in our America Meditating retreat we had about a week ago. She goes, get over your woundology. If somebody looks at you with a bad eye, you're wounded, you're shattered, you're devastated. If your husband or your wife cheated on you, you're devastated. Okay, they cheated. What do you want to do? You want to stay in the marriage or leave? In other words, stop putting the emotions into the situation. The quicker you can get out of the situation with your emotions, the faster you'll find a solution. What the emotions will do, which are fed with attachment, it will give you more thoughts than you need to have. What love will do, it'll be very specific. This is what I need to do. 1, 2, 3. Freedom. What emotions will do? I don't know what to do. It's so much is going on. It ties you up in a bondage, you see. And when you're in a bondage, you can't do what you really want to do. It's like I can't do what I want to do. My body's a bondage. My lack of finance is a bondage. My partner won't let me leave the house. It's a bondage. My mind is not working well. That's a bondage. And Baba says, but I'm here to liberate you. All I ask you to do, consider yourself a soul. Become a child again. Stop being such an adult. And remember me. I have a friend, Reverend Sylvia from Unity, few. And she's like really mature and serious. And I'm like really playful and easygoing. And sometimes she'll say to me, oh, I'm really playful. It's just that when I'm with you, you calm my spirits. And I'm like, no, but I like rebels. Come on, get like really excited and do something really naughty so I can be entertained. Because I've always liked friends who were like the opposite to me, because I like the entertainment, And I was thinking today about how adorable it is that you have friendships that are just completely opposite to you. But I love to play, and I love to have a lovely time with people. But internally, I'm still checking. So I have a habit of checking one's self. So that's another thing I wanted to share with you. The importance of reducing waste on unnecessary thoughts will require you to develop a habit of checking yourself. Sort of like how they want to check you with COVID. Everywhere you go, they put this, we got this contraption to check your forehead if you have a temperature or anything. If anybody comes to the ashram, we go, let me check you. It feels so weird. I was like, why in the world would they make something that looks like a weapon and you put it in the head of somebody? It's like they're making us all assassins. Did you see that, Santosh? I go and Santosh, you just came in. Let me check you. It's like, what is that? Couldn't it just do something? What is your arm? Or we check your arm, check your chest. We have to keep checking ourselves. And we don't know what kind of impressions that come up when somebody holds something in the center of your forehead. Like, let me check, are you good or not? And you're like, oh my God, where are we? Where is our thinking? Food for thought. We need to become children again. You want to have less thoughts? Become a child again. That's another step. Do something sweet, playful, easy, simple. Just simple, So enjoy this song on being a child again, and just go into the feelings. Just go into the feelings and the emotion, and watch how your thoughts just change as a result of being guided by these beautiful words. Enjoy.
Check, whose smile do you wear? Whose words do you speak? Do you walk them well? Ask your heart, do you know who I am? Do you hear the child who wants to run with the wind? Do you hear the child who wants to run with the wind?
in that one song alone, you could feel that your waste thoughts were reduced. Because you were connecting the thoughts in the song to a feeling that was connected to your truth. When we tap back into the feeling and the experience of our purity and innocence and beauty, the beginning meditation before I came on was on the spirit of innocence. And when you, maybe before you go to bed tonight and you play it back and you're laying in bed and you play back that meditation, which is at the beginning of today's show, you will feel how you stop worrying. You just don't have time to feed that energy anymore. You are now grabbing a hold of your life, perhaps like you never have before, by being honest with yourself to say, I want to reconcile the differences that I'm feeling within myself. I want to heal me inside out. That means I'm going to have to change certain ways of eating, sleeping, thinking, doing, being. And if you choose not to do it, then accept you're not being honest with yourself. That no. You know, there's a saying that lies never heal. So if you don't step up and be honest with yourself, how are you planning to heal the spirit? So the soul is the energy that will heal. And you can tell yourself all what you need to tell yourself. I'm a good soul. I'm a peaceful soul. I'm a pure soul. It's true, and don't stop. But until the soul, the container for the mind, the container for the intellect, the container for the sanskars, for the memories, until that soul trusts and believes in what you're telling it, it won't give you the experience of the reality you're seeking. And the thing is, we get distracted. Situations, calls, texts, messages, this, that. Things that take us off into some wasteland has nothing to do with us, has nothing to do with your destiny. It's just serving the wastage. It's just serving the unnecessary thoughts. It's like, it's not a big deal, right? And it's like you just have to say, no, I mean this. This is important to me. We're in a moment of a soul opportunity. Remember, I've changed the word from crisis and challenge to opportunity. So now we're in a soul opportunity moment. And now I have to dig deep and find ways to forgive. There was a story about this guy had come to me a while back, and he was saying, you know, I know you tell me all these good things to do, Sister Jenna, but sometimes I'm just tired of being the good one in the family. I'm with the family, I have nothing in common with them. They're the most brutish people I've ever met. And what I have to do just to keep the family going, I have to be the one that gives the love. I have to be the one that forgives them for their ignorance, for their way of being. And every time I come to the museum and you tell me I'm a peaceful soul, I'm a loving soul, I will say, but I'm tired of being that. I'm tired of being the good one all the time. So it just goes to show that when we even know the kind of work that it takes to step inside and go, I've got to do this. And I have to sustain it. If it's going to work, I got to do this. So you have to sustain your honest opinion and your honest vision of where do you want to be, how do you want to be, how do you want to feel. And you have to mean it. You have to mean it. It's not saying, yes, I do. You go into the altar and then you run away and go, no, I can't do it. You can't do that to your own spirit and say, I can't do it. You say you want it, but then you don't do it. Right? All right. So I hope you got some steps about how to reduce any of your waste thoughts and waste feelings. Feel free to give me your thumbs up if you did, and if that was okay with you, you know, just to get those thoughts in check, right? All right, Santosh. Any thoughts here to follow through on today? I kind of like when we get a chance to intimately share with each other in the evening, don't you? I can't find my messages on here because... So Barbara Goodman, your unemployment claim. So are you willing to get up? Are you willing to go to bed tonight, writing down your conviction of what you plan to see, that the unemployment claim comes true? Are you willing to get up half an hour earlier tomorrow, get out of the bed, brush your teeth, wash your face, comb your hair, go and sit somewhere in the corner and start to journal about fundings shouldn't run away from me, but funds should run towards me, and find out what is in the soul that's pushing back this energy. And I'm telling you, it helps. It helps. Right, anyone else has any thoughts they'd like to share before we come to a close? Is everyone enjoying tonight? Everything?
We need more patience, how do we? Because for thoughts, when you don't have patience, we run fast.
Santosh was sharing that sometimes you need more patience because with the thoughts, sometimes when you're impatient, the thoughts just run really, really, really fast. Yes, there's a saying about this virtue of patience. It's the mother of all virtues. And how I've developed my patience is a few steps that I've taken. One is I'm aware of the power and the wealth in me holding my peace. I'm aware of it. And I'm aware of the price I pay when I lose it. Even today, right before we went live, Sister Gita did something very cute. And we were, she's dying to go to Miami. That was what it was. And every few hours in the day, she goes, can't you just drop me in Miami? Just take me to Miami in the RV and come back. And we were going, who's going to take care of you in Miami? I mean, Sister Jenna, Sister Gita, don't you like us? So that's how I was talking to her. But as I was sharing with her, I felt a little pollution coming up. And I said to Santosh, I go, no, I don't want to go here anymore. I'm taking care of my temple. Because I'm aware of what the energy of pollution feels like now. So I'm like, I don't want to feed that. Sister Gita, we can't take you to Miami. That's final. Then she'll get on the phone and she calls her friend Papaya. Well, Papaya is going to take me to Miami. She says, you just have to tell her when she needs to pick you up. I go, Papaya's not... Anyway, long story short, you have to check. Is there any anxiety, waste feelings, waste thoughts? By checking, your patience will be increased. It's when you don't check yourself, you become more impatient. Because the soul needs a break, and patience will give you a break. All right. Is everyone okay? Yes, Christina, very nice. You must continuously tell the new story over and over again. Yes, sticky notes are good. Nikki, glad that you're enjoying. Good to have you. Zora, nice to have you. Be honest with yourself in what you want. And when you want it, you have to serve it every day, consistently. And you find that when you don't, you can feel a kind of a deception come over you. Or you begin to feel like there's a weakness in your character. And you're like, where's that coming from? Which one of the 5 vices? Anger, lust, greed, attachment, or ego? Which one? Which one, Baba? Which one's taken away my ability to heal myself? This is the beautiful work that we're now undergoing behind our eyes. Marissa, I'm in Miami and I want to move. I want to change places with Sister Gita. Marissa, most welcome. She would love to take your place. All right. Okay, everyone's okay? So Kirit is asking, what about making your mind a sorting machine that sorts out the penny like petty thoughts from $1 to a precious thoughts? Good. You can do that too. You can do that too. Leslie, nice to have you. I focus on gratefulness and mindfulness daily practice that opens my mind, heart, and deposit goodness and love in the soul for all. Very nice, Leslie Levinson. It's a good point. Adia, I want to run with the wind. Can I join you? All right. Music first love. We have to shine our light into the darkness. Yes, we do. We do. Check, check, check. Asmita, I always love when you're on, Asmita. Smile, laughter, positive vibrations have ripple effect, right? So remember, we're going to have to put the energy in over and over again. We've got to put it in over and over again. You know, put it in over and over again. This is the key. Alpna. What about the residual of negative memories? Feels like one may partially heal, but the difficult memories remain with the body-mind complex. This is a great question, Alpna. Thank you for asking. The sanskars and the karma of the past, it's just always going to be in there, which is why we have to, we must, at all cost. I'm going to give you a really simple answer to this. Pay attention tomorrow to the small actions that you're performing and put your best feelings in it. How easy is it? It's as easy as sweeping the front door with the pure feeling that you're purifying your home and attracting good vibrations. It's as simple as cleaning one drawer in your house to put it in order with the feelings that purity is coming back to me. It's as simple as cleaning one shelf in the fridge and just making that one area look really beautiful and clean like a brand new fridge. It's as simple as that. And tomorrow, as many moments as you can find, simple moments to just put kindness and love in a simple act, you'll be moving forward into a new story and you'll be creating new memories. That the old negative experiences, which are about suffering and sorrow and jealousy and fear and criticism and manipulation and wearing masks and having self-doubt and having inferiority, superiority conflicts, waste, a whole bunch of negative thinking, those start to get less. And as they get less, you can feel your power coming up. And as your power starts to come up, you can feel like, yes, you're flying. Like you've gotten your wings back. That's the benefit of reducing waste and unnecessary thoughts by paying attention to what is real and what is needed. Okay? All right, so we'll close off, right, Santosh? We're good? So, Mom DS, let's see if one more. What if we are on psychiatric meds and caught up in the mental health system? Beautiful question. My simple cure for this one, Mom DS, keep practicing positive thoughts. Positive thoughts, good wishes and pure feelings. Right now, I don't know if it's you or if it's a relative, but right now, with everyone in the community tuning in with you, take a deep breath. Exhale. Take a genuinely deep breath again. And exhale. And I want you to send your thoughts of best wishes and benevolent feelings to, I don't know if there's anyone around you in the house. Wish them benefit. Like I wish this soul to be uplifted and elevated. Send all of your good wishes to all the little four-legged creatures that walk the earth. Send your best wishes to all the individuals who feel lost at this time. And observe if even for that window, didn't you just feel you not only got out of the mental health system, that is a physical system created out of consciousness, But even at a spiritual, emotional, psychic level, you stepped away for a few moments and you were no longer part of the system. Got it? So I would recommend, as much as you can, and remember, if you're honest with yourself, you will stick to the routine. If you're lying to yourself but you have big dreams, it'll take you much longer. But if you can practice something like this every hour with genuine, sincere wish, something will give. Something will break away. Okay, Mom Diaz? On Facebook? Okay. All right. You're welcome, Julie Johnson. It's simple, isn't it? You know, a lot of people might, sometimes they say, you can talk and say a whole bunch of nice things and inspire and do all of that eloquent speaking and stuff like that. I'm not there. I'm not in that dimension, because I know that it takes a real genuine interest for the soul to really come from that place within, to really do the work on the self, and you don't need some major big assignment. So okay, I'm no better than Ashley. Hi Ashley, I'm no better than anyone else, and we are doing our best. I find that when certain things are said, it shows to be a trigger for those who are a little apprehensive to new information, which is totally understandable. If something you believe in also triggers another person because of fear, how do you handle being attacked for even thinking or believing differently when you're not trying to force feed info but simply share it? Check that your sharing is really about your experience. If you're sharing from an experience, they can't come after you. Whether they accept it or not, it's really not your concern. So many things I've shared and done. It hurts me at times because I'm sensitive. I'm a sensitive person. But it doesn't mean that they don't have to accept what I'm saying. And if I'm still affected by their reaction towards what I've said, then that's also a sign for me, Ashley. I need to toughen up. I need to apply more inner knowledge of who I am, that nothing can shake that conviction of who I am. Okay? All right. So I hope that was helpful for you. Okay? Okay. Good. All right, so we're going to close off with a meditation now. Yes, Sister Gita, you're going to close off with a meditation?
Beg your pardon?
You're going to close off with a meditation? You're going to meditate with me?
Yeah.
You're going to meditate with me today. All right. So she's going to meditate with us today. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us again on your Spiritual Vaccine Hour. Shared earlier, don't just like the show, but also share it on your social media. If you feel like it's been beneficial for you, the likes are appreciated, but also to put the like into action. Like my friend Michael Beckwith always says, inspiration is fine if you don't put it into action. If you just have inspiration and you just like something, it's like a fantasy. But in order to really bring it to life, come into action with it and see how it can be of benefit for someone else's life. So lots of blessings and lots of pure wishes and pure feelings to each and every one of you. May all your purest wishes come true, and may we stay honest with ourselves. Yes, we want the best, but we can feel when there's deception and we backslide. We're like, oh, forget it, who cares? What was it, Santosh, 2 days ago or so? I had my first cup of coffee. Yeah, so I haven't had coffee for like a month because I'm cleaning out my system. And I might have mentioned to you I had percolated coffee just to smell it, and I knew that was a warning sign. I knew that was a warning sign. So about maybe 4 days later, I was like, I'm just going to have a cup of coffee. I'm just going to have it. And as I was making the coffee and I was drinking it, I was like, I don't even like coffee anymore. Oh, that doesn't even... Why didn't that feed me? And Santosh was telling me, Sister, even me too, I'm not liking coffee anymore. So even when you make a promise to healing yourself, and even when you go back to old, the old still doesn't feel comfortable because you're not the same person anymore. Step up, and go back, go forward, and keep pushing until you break away and it becomes automatic. Okay. Thank you all. I really enjoyed being with you all today, like I do every night. Every night, I really do. Santosh and I and the team and Antonia, we have just genuinely just wanting to be here with you, and I really hope those feelings just stay, right, Santosh? Just, there's not one night Santosh has come up and go like, oh, spiritual vaccine. And there's not one night I've showed up and was like, oh, I was like, oh, what's our topic today? It's like I'm growing by being with all of you, and I thank you for that. So thank you so much. Have a lovely night. Om Shanti. Remember Baba before you go to bed tonight. Give him a hug. Tell him you love him dearly and that you're going to remember him as much as you can tomorrow. Good night.